Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Today is still December 19th and it's about 6 in the morning. 6:44 in the morning. And I have another video to go along with the one I just posted about the law 42 U.S. Code 15001. And this is going to be from the website of Cornell.edu. 42 U.S. Code 15001. Findings, Purpose, and Policy. A. Congress finds that, number 1, disability is a natural part of the human experience that does not diminish the right of the individuals with developmental disabilities to live independently, to exert control and choice over their own lives, and to fully participate in and contribute to their communities through full integration and inclusion in the economic, political, social, cultural, and educational mainstream of United States society. 2. In 1999, there were between 3,200,000 and 4,500,000 individuals with developmental disabilities in the United States. And recent studies indicate that individuals with developmental disabilities comprise between 1.2 and 1.65% of the United States population. Individuals whose disability occurred during their developmental period frequently have severe disabilities that are likely to continue indefinitely. Individuals with developmental disabilities often encounter discrimination in the provision of critical services, such as services in the areas of emphasis as defined in Section 15002 of this title. And my plan is to come back and click on some of these links and do videos about those. Okay, we're down to 5. Individuals with developmental disabilities are at greater risk than the general population of abuse, neglect, financial and sexual exploitation, and the violation of their legal and human rights. 6. A substantial portion of individuals with developmental disabilities and their families do not have access to appropriate support and services, including access to assistive technologies from generic and specialized service systems, and remain unserved or underserved. 7. Individuals with developmental disabilities often require lifelong community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance that are most effective when provided in a coordinated manner. 8. There is a need to ensure that services, supports, and other assistance are provided in a culturally competent manner that ensures that individuals from racial and ethnic minority backgrounds are fully included in all activities provided under this subchapter. 9. Family members, friends, and members of the community can play an important role in enhancing the lives of individuals with developmental disabilities, especially when the family members, friends, and community members are provided with the necessary community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance. 10. Current research indicates that 88% of individuals with developmental disabilities live with their families or in their own households. 11. Many service delivery systems and communities are not prepared to meet the impeding need of the 479,862 adults with developmental disabilities who are living at home with parents who are 60 years old or older and who serve as the primary caregivers of the adults. I'm almost 60. 12. In almost every state, individuals with developmental disabilities are waiting for appropriate services in their communities in the areas of emphasis. 13. The public needs to be made more aware of the capabilities and competencies of individuals with developmental disabilities, particularly in cases in which the individuals are provided with necessary services, supports, and other assistance. 14. As increasing numbers of individuals with developmental disabilities are living, learning, and working and participating in all aspects of community life, there is an increasing need for a well-trained workforce that is able to provide services, supports, and other forms of direct assistance required to enable the individuals to carry out these activities. 15. There needs to be greater effort to recruit individuals from minority backgrounds into professions serving individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. 16. The goals of the nation properly include a goal of providing individuals with developmental disabilities with information, skills, opportunities, and support to A. Make informed choices and decisions about their lives. B. Live in homes and communities in which such individuals can exercise their full rights and responsibilities as citizens. C. Pursue meaningful and productive lives. D. Contribute to their families, communities, and states and the nation. E. Have interdependent friendships and relationships with other persons. F. Live free of abuse, neglect, financial, and sexual exploitation in violation of their legal and human rights, and achieve full integration and inclusion in society in an individualized manner, consistent with the unique strengths, resources, priorities, concerns, abilities, and capabilities of each individual. And 17. As the nation, states, and communities maintain and expand community living options for individuals with developmental disabilities, there is a need to evaluate the access to those options by individuals with developmental disabilities and the effects of those options on individuals with developmental disabilities. Purpose. The purpose of this subchapter is to assure that individuals with developmental disabilities and their families participate in the design and have access to needed community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance that promote self-determination, independence, productivity, integration, and inclusion in all facets of community life through culturally competent programs authorized under the subchapter, including specifically, number 1, state councils on developmental disabilities in each state to engage in advocacy, capacity building, and systemic change activities that A. are consistent with the purpose described in this subsection and the policy described in subsection C, and contribute to a coordinated consumer and family-centered consumer and family-directed comprehensive system that includes needed community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance that promote self-determination for individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. All right, 2, protection and advocacy systems in each state to protect the legal and human rights of individuals with developmental disabilities. 3, University Centers for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities Education, Research, and Service. A, to provide interdisciplinary pre-service preparation and continuing education of students and fellows, which may include the preparation and continuing education of leadership, direct service, clinical or other personnel to strengthen and increase the capacity of the United States and communities to achieve the purpose of this subchapter. B, to provide community services that provide training and technical assistance for individuals with developmental disabilities, their families, professionals, paraprofessionals, policymakers, students, and other members of the community, and that may provide services, supports, and assistance for the persons described in Clause I through demonstration and model activities. C. To conduct research, which may include basic or applied research, evaluation, and the analysis of public policy in areas that affect or could affect, either positively or negatively, individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. To disseminate information related to activities undertaken to address the purpose of this subchapter, especially dissemination of information that demonstrates that the network authorized under this part is a national and international resource that includes specific substantive areas of expertise that may be assessed and applied in diverse settings and circumstances. And 4, funding for A, national initiatives to collect necessary data on the issues that are directly or indirectly relevant to the lives of individuals with developmental disabilities. I don't think strip clubs, group home strip club nights are a good idea. Technical assistance to entities who engage in or intend to engage in activities consistent with the purposes described in this subsection or the policy described in subsection C and other nationally significant activities. Oh my God, all this policy. C, policy. It is the policy of the United States that all programs, projects, and activities receiving assistance under this subchapter shall be carried out in a manner consistent with the principles that, number 1, individuals with developmental disabilities, including those with the most severe developmental disabilities, are capable of self-determination, independence, productivity, and integration and inclusion in all facets of community life, but often require the provision of community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance. 2. Individuals with developmental disabilities and their families have competencies, capabilities, and personal goals that should be recognized, supported, and encouraged. And any assistance to such individuals should be provided in an individualized manner, consistent with the unique strengths, resources, priorities, concerns, abilities, and capabilities of such individuals. Individuals with developmental disabilities and their families are the primary decision makers regarding the services and supports such individuals and their families receive, including regarding choosing where the individuals live, from what available options, and play decision-making roles in policies and programs that affect the lives of such individuals and their families. Services, supports, and other assistance should be provided in a manner that demonstrates respect for the individual, dignity, personal preferences, and cultural differences. Specific efforts must be made to ensure that the individual with developmental disabilities from a racial and ethnic minority backgrounds and their families enjoy increased and meaningful opportunities to assess and use community services, individualized supports, and other forms of assistance available to other individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. 6. Recruitment efforts in disciplines related to developmental disabilities relating to pre-service training, community training, practice, administration, and policymaking must focus on bringing larger numbers of racial and ethnic minorities into the disciplines in order to provide appropriate skills, knowledge, role models, and sufficient personnel to address the growing needs of an increasingly diverse population. So is that why they're bringing all these immigrants? To take care of the special needs community? 7. With education and support, communities can be accessible to and responsive to the needs of individuals with developmental disabilities and their families, and are enriched by a full and active participation in community activities and contributions by individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. Individuals with developmental disabilities have access to opportunities and the necessary support to be included in community life, have interdependent relationships, live in homes and communities, and make contributions to their families, communities, and state and the nation. Efforts undertaken to maintain or expand community-based living options for individuals with disabilities should be monitored in order to determine and report to appropriate individuals and entities the extent of access by individuals with developmental disabilities to those options and the extent of compliance by the entities providing those options with quality assurance standards. 10. Families of children with developmental disabilities need to have access to and use of safe and appropriate child care before and after school and after school programs in the most integrated settings in order to enrich the participation of the children in community life. 11. Individuals with developmental disabilities need to have access to and use of public transportation in order to be independent and directly contribute to and participate in all facets of community life, and individuals with developmental disabilities need to have access to and use of recreational, leisure, and social opportunities in the most integrated settings in order to enrich their participation in a community life. So, there you go. There's no guardrails. There's no safety rails for the clients from care providers who think the world is their oyster. Strip clubs, rated X movies at the group home at night. I just don't even understand how they all think it's okay. I hope that you don't think it's okay, because it's not okay. And use your voice. Be loud. Be proud. Be strong. We need to stand up for our community. Us parents do. Because I know for 100% my son can't stand up and advocate for himself. That's why he's my kid and I'm his mother. I'm his advocate.